Imagine a sport where cars hit over 200 miles an hour, engines roar across continents, and fans cheer from every corner of the globe. This is Formula One. Fast, elite, and global. But behind the speed and spectacle is a major question. What is Formula One's carbon footprint, and how are they changing it? Today, we are diving into how Formula One is transforming itself to lead a green revolution in motorsports. Before we talk about how motorsports is going green, we have to understand the problem, right? Formula One races in nearly every single continent. In one season, they are traveling over 130,000 miles, transporting cars, equipment, and hundreds of people from one race to the next. But the biggest impact isn't from the cars themselves, it's from the logistics. According to Formula One's 2022 emissions data, less than 1% of their emissions come from the cars themselves. So while the on-track action gets the spotlight, it's everything behind the scenes that is driving that carbon footprint. If motorsports truly wants a sustainable future, it's not just about what happens on Sunday, it's what's happening around it. In 2019, Formula One made a bold promise to become a net zero carbon sport by 2030. This commitment doesn't just include the cars on track. It includes race events, team travel, logistics, offices, facilities, the entire operation. In the high-speed world of Formula One, the complexity of global logistics requires innovative solutions, and some of these solutions are already showing results. Let's start with the cars. Like I said, despite what most people think, the cars themselves count for less than 1% of the sport's total emissions, but the technology inside them is game-changing nevertheless. In 2014, F1 introduced its 1.6-liter turbo hybrid engines. They replaced the gas-guzzling V8s, cutting CO2 by roughly 38% per kilometer. These engines also featured energy recovery systems, tech that's expected to show up in everyday vehicles in the near future. Looking ahead, F1 is planning to run on 100% carbon-neutral fuels by 2026, which is less than a year away. This fuel can be used in traditional internal combustion engines, helping clean up cars beyond the racetrack. Now let's zoom out. Where are most of F1's emissions really coming from? In 2022, F1's total carbon footprint was just over 223,000 tons of CO2 equivalent. Here's the breakdown. 49% of total emissions came from logistics, just getting everything where it needs to go. 29% from business travel, flying staff, media, and partners to every race. 22% was tied to events and facilities, things like track energy use and fan infrastructure. And again, car fuel, less than 1%. The majority of that number comes from what we call Scope 3 emissions. Indirect emissions from things like travel, suppliers, and fans, but F1 is taking them seriously. They are redesigning operations with things like renewable powered facilities, greener merchandise strategies, and more sustainable hospitality at races. This shift towards sustainability isn't just happening in garages and engineering rooms, it's becoming part of the sport's identity. F1 is embracing what's known as green branding, when environmental responsibility becomes a part of how the sport markets itself, builds partnerships, and gains fan loyalty. Let's start with the drivers. Lewis Hamilton has long been outspoken about environmental issues. He's gone plant-based, supports clean energy, and uses his platform to promote sustainability. Sebastian Vettel, before retiring, was often seen leading environmental initiatives like organizing track cleanups and speaking at schools about climate change. But the shift isn't just individual, it's institutional. Teams and sponsors are weaving sustainability into their core brand stories. Let's break down a few examples. Aramco, a major partner of the Aston Martin team, is trialing sustainable fuels in the junior series like F2 and F3. DHL, F1's logistics partner, rolled out a fleet of biofuel-powered trucks for the European season, reducing emissions by an average of 83%. They are also investing in sustainable aviation fuel to cut emissions on team travel. Even Qatar Airways has invested in sustainable aviation fuel for F1, reducing flight emissions by up to 80% per flight. These partnerships show that in 2025, it's not just about putting logos on cars, it's about aligning with purpose. Sustainability is becoming part of a brand pillar, not just a press release. And for Formula One, that means blending performance, innovation, and responsibility, all at 200 miles per hour. Of course, when we talk about sustainable motorsport, we have to talk about Formula E, right? It's fully electric, city-based, and designed for low impact. So is F1 falling behind? Not necessarily. F1's strategy is different. It's about hybrids, sustainable fuels, and scalable innovation. Technology from F1 cars gets adapted into real-world vehicles much faster than most other platforms. So while Formula E leads in all-electric racing, Formula 1 is still making an impact on what gas-powered performance can look like. F1's green revolution is just getting started. From hybrid engines to zero-waste events and carbon-neutral fuels, this sport is proving that performance and sustainability don't have to be at odds. Because in this race, the finish line is not just about points, it's about protecting the planet for every lap to come.